Good morning, dear students. Tanali, Mridula, Manas B, Vinita, Ria, Sahil, Niraj, Akif, Krutika, Nidhu, Laxman, Ashirvad. All of you, very good morning, dear students. Ranvijay, stay connected throughout the end. Laxman, good morning. So, dear students, I would like to take a feedback from you regarding our, progress in this lesson. Please tell me, did I finish the present participle part? You please text me from which particular part shall I begin today. Have I finished explaining you the rules of present participles, past participles and perfect participles, and or I should revise it for you once again. You please tell me quickly, text me so that okay, you please text me. Shall I begin from gerund today? Is participle over? Just say is participle over? Yes or no? Three types of participle: present participle, past participle and future perfect participle. So did I finish explaining you these three participles? Okay. Okay, Sahil, I hope I'm supposed to begin gerund today, right? Shall I begin teaching you gerund today? Okay, Sahil, gerund is also over. Sahil, shall I start teaching you gerund today? Okay. Okay, so I need to teach you gerund today. Okay. Okay. Thank you, dear students. Thank you. Okay, so you see. Dear students, gerund and participles look alike. Why? Because both gerunds as well as present participle take ing form of the verb. Therefore, it is difficult at times to identify which ing form of verb is gerund and which ing form of verb is present participle. So for that, you have to watch out for the usage part of each of the topics. Okay, so for example, I have explained you some usage of or uses of present participle. So if you remember these uses of present participle, then you shall easily identify by seeing the sentence which one is gerund and which one is participle. Today I am going to explain you when what are the conditions, okay, when gerund is used. Understood? Today I am going to explain you. Okay, so let's begin. So dear student, a gerund is that form of a verb which ends in ing and has the force of a noun and verb. Okay, gerund is noun and verb. It has a force of noun and as well as a verb, whereas present participle has a force of verb and adjective. Okay, so let's find out here. For example, swimming is a good exercise. Here swimming is gerund because it is used as the subject of the verb is. Okay, so this is the first condition. The first condition of the gerund is it is used as the subject of the verb. Like for example, reading is my favorite pastime. In this example as well, we can see the ing, that is ing part, that is reading, is used as the subject of the verb is here. Okay, this is. Okay, is. So reading is used before is, therefore reading is the gerund. So this is the first condition, dear students, for qualifying a particular ing word to be gerund. It should be used in the sentence as the subject of the verb. only then we can call it gerund, not present participle. Yeah, okay. So present participle has its own uses, and gerund has its own uses. So if you remember each 4 and 5 use of both present participle as well as gerund, then you shall not be confused to identify which one is gerund and which one is present participle. So let's go over to the usage or uses. See, dear students, here first is subject of a verb. So as I explained you just now, smoking here is used as a subject. Smoking is injurious to health. So the word smoking is a gerund because it is used as the subject of the verb is. Okay, subject of the verb here it is. So dear students, always remember that subject is something that goes before the verb and object is something that goes after the verb. Okay, object can go after the preposition also, but in the context of the verb I am telling you, the word that goes before the verb is the subject and the word that goes after the verb is called object. Okay, and in other words, if I say object can be anything which goes after a particular word. It can be a verb also, it can be a preposition also. Okay, like object is object is a word that goes after either a verb or a preposition. In the context of this lesson I am explaining you. And when it comes to subject, you must be knowing it always comes in the beginning of the sentence. So subject is something which is used before the verb. Okay, so this is the subject. Next is the object of a verb. What is the object? Object is something that goes after the verb. Okay, so stop singing now. Stop singing now. In the word sing, the word singing is the word singing. The word singing is here gerund. And why should we call it a gerund? What kind of characteristic of gerund it is following so as to qualify it to be called as a gerund? It is performing the role of object here. Okay, it is the object of the verb. So gerund can either be used as subject of the verb, like in the first example, smoking is injurious to health, or in the second example as an object of the verb. So which is the verb here? Stop singing now. Which is the verb? The verb is stop here. So verb is stop here and singing is used after the verb. So as I told you, whatever goes after the verb is called the object. So as singing goes after the verb stop, therefore singing is the object of the verb stop. Okay, so dear students, we got so far that gerund can be used for on two conditions. Okay, first is if it is used as the subject of a verb, and secondly if it is used as the object of the verb. Okay, so here in the first example, is the verb, so smoking is used before is, therefore smoking is used as the subject of the verb is. And in the second use, singing is used as the object of the verb stop, because singing is used after the verb. That is why singing is used as an object of the verb stop. So now let's move on to the third example. Okay, the third use. Okay, third use of gerund. What is the third condition of gerund is something that we are going to learn now. See, dear students, a complement of a verb. Okay, like complement means what, dear students? There is much of similarity between a complement and an object. Okay, but still there is a difference. So let me explain you today what is the difference between an object and a complement. Okay, so dear students, always remember that if any word goes after the helping verbs, or you can say be verbs to be very precise and correct, be verb. Okay, if any word goes after be verb, then that particular word becomes the complement of the verb. For example, you can see here, believing is the word which is gerund here and which has gone after the be verb. What are the be verbs? What are the examples of be verbs? Be verbs are am, is, are, was, were. Okay, and being as well, but you remember am, is, are, was, were. Okay, so if any word goes after am, is, are, was, were, then that word is called the complement of the verb. Okay, whereas a word that goes after an action verb, that is come, go, dance, sing, sleep, read, write. Okay, after an action verb, if a word goes after an action verb, that is called object, but if a word goes after a be verb, it is called complement of a verb. Okay, so please do remember the difference between the object and the complement. Object is used after the be verb, whereas complement is used after the object is used after the action verbs, whereas complement is used after the be verb. Okay, that is the difference. Otherwise they are alike. In what way are they alike? They are alike or similar because they both go after the verb. So there are different categories of verbs, dear students, you might be knowing, like there are like transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, regular verbs, irregular verbs, action verbs, then like verbs of state, verbs showing the state, stationary position, like am, is, are. Okay, am, is, are, was, were are called stationary verbs. Why stationary verbs? Because they do not show any kind of action, therefore they are called stationary verbs. Okay, but on the other hand, if I say come, go, dance, feel, okay, watch, then sleep, read, write, fight, play, these are action, these represent action. Okay, therefore they are called action verbs. So complement is the complement is the word which goes after the be verb, whereas the object is the word which goes after the action verb. So please do remember this difference. Okay, so complement of a verb means object of a verb, of course, but it is after the be verb. So complement, I hope you've understood what is complement and what is object. Okay, now complement of a verb, seeing is believing. Here, dear students, you see here believing is gerund because it has gone after the be verb is, therefore believing is used in the form of a complement after the verb is, therefore it is called gerund. So in order to qualify, in order that an ing word qualifies for a gerund, it has to be the complement of a verb as well. So as it has met the criteria or the condition of gerund, therefore believing is the example of gerund. And one more thing, dear students, in this sentence, as I have given the rule key, I have already shown the rule key complement of a verb, that is why believing I have used, but seeing can also be gerund. So tell me, there is a question for all of you, dear students. There is a question for all of you. The question is, in the sentence seeing is believing, seeing can also be a gerund. So when I say seeing is also a gerund, in that case what characteristic of gerund is the ing word seeing fulfilling? Why should we call seeing a gerund in the sentence seeing is believing? Okay, why should we call seeing gerund in the first sentence? I am awaiting your response, dear students. I am awaiting your response. Tell me, in the sentence seeing is believing, seeing can also be called gerund. So why should we call seeing a gerund? What kind of characteristic it is fulfilling to be qualified as a gerund? Tell me. Come on students, are you there or you have left? Don't write yes sir. Tell me the reason why seeing is also a gerund. What kind of criteria, what kind of characteristic is the word seeing fulfilling to be called it as a gerund? Tell me, what is the reason? Why should I call seeing a gerund? What did I explain you? What did I explain you? Tell me. Yog, you are absolutely correct, but be very quick dear, because otherwise it's a wastage of time. Thank you so much Yog. It's the subject of verb. Yes, very good, very good. Thank you so much Yog, thank you so much. So subject of a verb, okay. Sing is used as a subject of the verb is here, therefore sing can also be called a gerund, and believing can also be called gerund in the same sentence. Why? Because it is used as the complement of the verb is, and in the first word sing, which is also gerund because it is the subject of the verb is. Okay, next example, you see, what I dislike most is smoking. What I dislike most is smoking. So dear students, you can see here smoking is the ing verb which is gerund. Why it is gerund? Because it is also used as the complement of the helping verb is or be verb is. So whenever a ing word will be a complement of a be verb, then it can be called the gerund. Okay, always remember. Next dear students, you see the next example, object of a preposition. Object of a preposition. Okay, object means what? Do you remember what is object? As I told you, object is something that goes after. It can be after a verb, it can be after a preposition, etc. Okay, so object is something, you always remember, that goes after something. Okay, that goes after something. So object of a preposition means the gerund will go after the preposition. Object of a preposition means the gerund will go after the preposition. So I am fond of playing cards. Playing is gerund. Why playing is gerund? Because it is fulfilling the criteria of object of a preposition. So you can see here of is the preposition. So playing is playing has gone after the preposition of, therefore playing is used as the object of the preposition, therefore it is a gerund. Okay, so this is the fourth condition of, or the fourth use of gerund. Okay, I am fond of playing, or it can be anything like, for example, I jumped into the swimming pool with a view to saving the life of a child. So with a view to saving, so saving is gerund here. Why with a view to why saving is gerund here? Because it is used after the preposition to in the sentence. I jumped into the swimming pool with a view to saving the life of a child. So after saving is called gerund because it is used after the preposition to. So whenever you will get an ing word which is used in a sentence after preposition, then you take it for granted that that particular word, ing word, is a gerund. Therefore dear students, it's very important for each one of you to remember each and every use of present participle and gerund to be able to differentiate between both of them. Okay, otherwise it's very confusing at times whether it is a gerund or it is a present participle. Okay, now let's move on to the usage number 5. What is the characteristic of a particular ing word to be qualified it as gerund? It is gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. Gerunds are always preceded. Preceded, always remember dear students, preceded means going before and followed by means going after. Okay, so gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. Okay, so gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. Preceded means going before. Okay, going before. So tour will be fixed after Renu's passing the exam. So passing is used after renus, which is a possessive noun, therefore passing can also be called a gerund. So what is the rule? What is the fifth rule? The fifth rule states us that if an ing word is to be called a gerund, it has to be after a possessive noun or a possessive pronoun as well. So this is also very important rule of gerund. So like here in the second example also you can see, I ask the favor of your granting my prayer. So you can see in this sentence the word granting is used after the possessive pronoun your, therefore it qualifies itself to be called as gerund. So what is the rule? Gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns, means after the before the ing words there will be a possessive noun or a pronoun also. It can be pronoun also, possessive noun / pronoun. Okay, so I ask the favor of your granting my prayer. So granting can be called here a gerund because it is preceded by a possessive pronoun. So what do you mean by possessive noun or pronoun, dear student? Possessive means the word that shows possession. What is possession? Possession means ownership. If I own something, then it is my possession. Okay, suppose this is my house, so my is called possessive pronoun. Why? Because it shows the house is possessed by me. Okay, and if I say this is Renu's book, this is Renu's book, so this book is possessed by Renu. Okay, so therefore these words are called possessive nouns and pronouns respectively. Okay, because it shows possession or ownership. It shows possession or ownership. That is why these words are called possessive nouns or possessive pronouns. Okay, so hopefully you have understood the meaning of preceded by, meaning of followed by, meaning of possessive noun, meaning of possessive pronoun as well. In the second example we got the example of possessive pronoun, whereas in the first example in rule number 5 it is the example of Renus is the example of possessive noun. So now let's pass on to rule number 6. What does rule number 6 state? Gerunds are all used in compound nouns. Gerunds are also used in compound nouns like frying pan, walking stick. Okay, so frying pan and walking sticks are the examples of compound noun. Okay, so sometimes gerund can also be used as compound nouns or in compound nouns. Sorry, say example walking stick. So walking stick, frying pan, walking stick, these two words come together. So whenever ing word will come together with a word, that is called compound nouns. Okay, now let's move on to use number 7. Gerunds are used absolutely. What is absolutely, dear students? What do you mean by absolutely? Absolutely means, see in the example, playing cards being his aversion. Aversion means dislike. We did not play bridge. Okay, so playing cards being his aversion, we did not play bridge. So here you can see, whenever ing word is used as the subject of a noun, then that particular ing word is said to be used absolutely in a sentence. Okay, so far we got that an ing word to be able to be called as gerund should be the subject of a verb. Okay, subject of a verb. But in rule number 7 we got that a gerund can also be used as a subject of a noun as well. So whenever a gerund is used as a subject of a noun, it is said to be used absolutely. Okay, like for example, playing cards being his aversion, we did not play bridge. So playing is used absolutely in this sentence. So how do you understand it is used absolutely in the sentence? We can understand that the ing words has been used absolutely in the sentence because it is used as a subject of the noun. So whenever ing words will be there as the subject of the verb, it is called subject of the it is called gerund, as well as whenever an ing word will be used before the object, it can also be called a gerund. Before the nouns, it can also be called as gerund because it is used absolutely in the sentence. Okay, so these are few rules of gerunds you've got to remember to be able to identify between present participle and gerund. Now let's move on to verbal nouns. What are verbal nouns? A gerund preceded by the and followed by of is called a verbal noun. Preceded, as I told you in the previous example, preceded means something, the word that goes before is called preceded, and followed means the word that goes after is called followed. Okay, a gerund preceded by the and followed by of is called a verbal noun. All verbal nouns are not gerund, but all gerunds are verbal nouns. A gerund preceded by the and followed by of is called a verbal noun. All verbal nouns are not gerund, but all gerunds are verbal nouns. Okay, all verbal nouns cannot be gerunds, but all gerunds are verbal nouns, because in the beginning of the explanation of gerund I told you that gerund, the gerund has the force of a verb as well as a noun as well. Okay, therefore they are called verbal noun. That is, therefore all gerunds can be called verbal nouns, but all verbal nouns are not gerund. And what is the structure of the verbal noun? You see, he is engaged in the reading of a novel. He is engaged in the reading of a novel. So you see, reading is preceded by the and reading is followed by of. Okay, you understood what is preceded by and what is followed by? Preceded by is the word which goes before reading, and followed by is the word which goes after reading. So in this example, he is engaged in the reading of a novel. Reading is preceded by the word the, and reading is followed by the word of. Okay, so if we get a sentence in which ing is preceded by the and followed by of, in that case, dear students, this is the example of verbal nouns. Okay, so that's all about verbal nouns, gerund and participle. Okay, verbal nouns, gerund and participle. Now let me go ahead with the example, explanation of infinitives. So dear students, you might be remembering I told you that non-finites consist of participle, gerund, verbal nouns and infinitives also. Okay, so now today let us know what are infinitives. Okay, what are infinitives? Always remember that infinitives, non-finites consist of several categories. What are the categories? Non-finites consist of gerund, then participles, verbal nouns and infinitives. Okay, so we are in the last category of non-finite. Okay, we are in the last category of verbs of non-finites. Okay, what is that? This is called infinitives. So what are called infinitives? Let me tell you. A verb that has a subject but is not limited by person and number of the subject is called infinitive. So let me explain you in very simple language, dear students. You see here, whenever I read this sentence, I love to read science fiction. Whenever I read out this sentence, I love to read science fiction. Here in this sentence, there are two verbs. One is love and another is to read. Okay, there are two verbs here. One is love and another is to read here. So as you can observe in this sentence, the word love is agreeing with the subject I, whereas to read is not agreeing with the subject I. So the verb that does not agree with the subject is said to be non-finite, and to be more precise, it is infinitive. Okay, so what is infinitive? Infinitive is a word with two. Okay, a word with two, a verb preceded by two is called an infinitive. What is an infinitive, dear students? And a verb that is preceded by to is called infinitive. So in this sentence, to read is the example of infinitive. Okay, To read is the example of infinitive. So always remember that infinitive never agrees with the subject, whereas the finite verb agrees with the subject. So whenever we see in a sentence that a verb agrees with the subject, that verb is called finite verb, and the verb that does not agree with the subject is called non-finite verb, and to be more specific in the context of this topic, it is called infinitive. Okay, so always remember that infinitive is the verb which is preceded by a preposition called to. Okay, so infinitives are those verbs which are always preceded by, or not always, mostly preceded by to, because there are some infinitives which are not preceded by to also. Like for example, let me tell you, let me do the work, let me do the work. Here let me to do the work is not given, it's just let me do the work. So do is also infinitive, but it is not to infinitive, it's called bare infinitive. For example, make him do the work. Okay, make him do the work. So in this sentence, do is also infinitive, but it's not a to infinitive, it's called bare infinitive. Infinitives are of two types, dear students. One is to infinitive, another is bare infinitive. So now we are discussing the to infinitive. Okay, so what is a to infinitive? A verb which is preceded by the preposition to is called to infinitive. Okay, so now let us move on to the uses of infinitives. For example, number one is the subject of a verb. So how is the infinitive used in this sentence as the subject of a verb? Let us find out. So here you see, here is the verb, so to are is used before the verb is, therefore to are is the subject of the verb. To are is used here in this sentence as the subject of the verb is. Okay, understood? Because while explaining you the gerund as well, I told you how the subject of a verb is used. So here also the same thing, same rule only. Okay, the rule, the pattern remains the same everywhere, dear students. Okay, the rule might change, or you can say the word might change. Subject of a verb, subject of a noun can, it can be subject of a verb also, subject of a noun also sometimes, but it cannot, the position of the word in the sentence will always remain same. Next use you see, object of a verb. Object means something that goes after. So object of a verb means the word that will go after the verb. For example, she loves to sing. So here to sing is used after the verb loves, therefore the to sing is used as an object of the verb here. Okay, therefore it is object of a verb. Sometimes the infinitive is also used as the object of a verb. And complement of a verb, as I told you, the complement means the be verbs. Okay, whenever a word will go after the be verb, that particular word will be called complement. But whenever a word will go after the main or action verb, that word will be called the object of a verb. Okay, otherwise it's called complement. Whenever a word will go after the be verb, it's called complement of the verb. Okay, so next is object of a preposition. Object means going after, so object of a preposition means the patient is about to die. So to die is used here after about, therefore, which is a preposition, therefore to die is used in the sentence as the object of the preposition. Understood? So dear students, now it's time for us to work out some questions. Okay, work out some questions. So let me click here for you so that it directs me to another page. Sorry dear students, I had to flex my muscle. Okay, so dear students, see, whenever I clicked on the link, it has taken me to the library section of my website. So there are many folders of course here. How will you understand where you have to go? You just check out the box. The box that will be checked out is the place where you have to click. So let's find out. See here you can see this is the box is checked out. It means that my resources there here only, resources in this file only, okay, in this file only. So this is how you can identify. Sometimes you will click on some of the links which will take you there in this page, that is library section of my website, and then you check out for the boxes. The box which will be ticked like this, this is where you have to go. Okay, so let me sort of open the let me click the file here. Here you are, dear students, you see the new file, a worksheet has opened here, okay. So now you see the question, identify whether the following sentences are gerund, present participle, past participle, perfect participle, verbal nouns or infinitives. Okay, so infinitives, to dear students, is very simple to understand because it is always preceded by the preposition. So you shall be able to easily identify which one is gerund and which one is infinitive. Okay, but the problem will come only when it comes to differentiating between a gerund and a participle. So let's find out whether you are able to do that. Okay, so this question is open to all. Let me see who responds me first. Okay, smoking is injurious to health. Smoking is injurious to health. Here, tell me, let me see who can respond me first. Tell me here, smoking is gerund or a present participle, and you've got to tell the reason also why it's so. So come on, the question is open for all of you. You're absolutely correct. It's gerund, it's subject of a verb. Okay, so Yog is absolutely correct. Okay, thank you so much, Yog. Now let's move on to the next question. Ashirvad Tiwari, don't say after ing it is. Don't say like this. Just say subject of a verb. Okay, subject of a verb. Therefore, it is gerund. So if you write like it is after ing, it is for your understanding only. Okay, so always remember that you've got to say the exact. You've got to use exact terminology. That is subject of a verb here in this sentence. Okay, let's switch on to the next question now. He is confident of passing the exams. So it's open for all. He is confident of passing the exams. So tell me, the word passing is a gerund or a present participle? Is it a gerund or a present participle? He is confident of passing the exams. Ashirvad, the quiz the quiz competition result will be out next week, and your papers like whatever you just written few days back, that will be given after 12th of October. So you've got to wait for a couple of days, but the result of the quiz competition will come next week only. Okay, Sania says it's participle, Sahil Mohammed says participle, Nidu says participle, Yog also says it is participle. Okay, so Sahil Mohammed, I have got a question to you now. Sahil Mohammed, you tell me why it is participle. What made you think this particular word as participle? you've got to text me the reason for this ing word to be a participle in your opinion. Just write down the reason for it. Dear students, this is not participle, this is gerund, because what is the reason for this particular sentence to be gerund? He is confident of passing the exam of, confident of, okay. So it is gerund. Why? It is used as the object of preposition. That is why it is gerund, it is not participle, okay. So anyway, dear students, I have run out of my time today. I've got to sign off now. So I've got a work for you. Please work out at least one, two you have done already. You do up to 12, okay. You do up to 12. Your homework for the next day is 1 to 12 you do. 1 to 12 you do. Dear students, don't sign off now. Let me give you instruction. You do 1 to 12 on your English notebook, then take a peek and upload the PDF of your homework in the library section, homework submission folder, inside which there is class 10, and inside class 10 you make a folder in your name, and inside which you submit the homework for today, okay. So what you do is, first of all, you write down on your notebook all the answers along with the question. You just write the question as well, because it's difficult otherwise. If you do not write the question, only answer you write, then again I've got to open the question paper. Therefore what you do is, you write down question as well as niche answer you write, and then you take a click of this particular answer from Microsoft Lens app, and then you make a PDF and upload it where I say. I shall send you the link of the question as well as the link submission folder as well. So you just submit me. Before I start my next class, I shall first check how many of you have submitted. Okay, thank you so much, dear students. Have a nice day. Please do my homework on your English notebook and upload it on the link that I shall provide you today itself. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye, take care. See you in the next class.